How you doing tonight, folks? James Lane here. And before we get started on this very, very important video, I want you to do me a favor. Whatever you're watching this on, YouTube, Rumble, wherever, I want you to like, I want you to subscribe, I want you to share. Comment if you'd like. I want you to be interactive, but it's very important that we get this message out. It's very important before big tech comes and lays the hammer down. And speaking of that, when you're done watching this video, if you could do me a favor, go to www.americanreveille.com and bookmark the site, or at least come check it out. You can see videos on there. We've got articles. I've got all the podcasts that you could ever want. And like I said, plenty to go around. Plenty to go around indeed. And like I said before, who knows how long we'll be up? Who knows how long we'll be up? With big tech censoring the hell out of everybody on the right, you need to come to my personal website and bookmark it. It's the best way to at least make sure. There's some other good ways, and we're going to get into that in a second. But really quick, I want to show you what is going on with big tech. This is a little pre-video before the video thing. Check this out. This is my Facebook page for the American Reveille. My page is restricted. Your page has reduced distribution and other restrictions because of repeated sharing of false news. People will also be able to see if a page has a history of sharing false news. Now, I want to tell you guys something. I don't share false news. I've never made anything up or shared a phony story whatsoever. It's their fact checkers, their communist fact checkers, basically deciding what's fake and what's not. All of the articles that I write for the American Reveille, I source those articles, and I'm qualified to do so. Everything else that I post is from reputable sources. So I've got a violation there. I've got a violation here, multiple violations. You know, I have 1,000, 2,000 people, at least on this Facebook following, and they all send me emails asking why they can't see my stuff. I went from thousands of people a day seeing my posts, seeing everything I was doing, an interactive community of fellow patriots, to 1 to 2 people seeing my posts a day. So this is where I'm going to take you to the next place. I want you, if you're on Facebook, if you're still there and you see everybody leaving, you hear about Parler, you hear about them going to this haven for free speech, that's what I want you to do too. This is Parler, all right? I want you to download Parler either on your phone or on your computer. It's very simple to use. See right here, you could be the 4,000th one of my fans that could come join my Parler, or maybe the 40,000th if this thing keeps moving the way it's moving. But everything you want to get, all the news that you can't see on the other social media sites, it's all here. This is such a great user-friendly alternative for Facebook, and you're in no danger of being banned. No danger of being banned whatsoever. Oh, Joe's about to remember you. So anyway, do me a favor, go to Parler and look me up at The James Lane. I'm James Lane, the host of the American Reveille podcast, but we're doing a video clip today, but that's me at The James Lane. Go on Parler, check it out, find me, follow me. Let's have an awesome Patriot party. All right, guys. So I want to talk about a bear that doesn't normally come out of hibernation, a very special bear. A very John Goodman-like bear, elusive like the jackalope and hardly seen like the great illustrious skunk ape of the South Florida swamps or the Bigfoot of the Pacific Northwest. Of course, I'm talking about our very own Attorney General, Bill Barr. I want to read this to you from the Epic Times. Barr authorizes federal prosecutors to probe substantial allegations of voting irregularities. All right. This is a report. This is real. This is happening. All right. All of the dancing Democrats in the streets, they should pay attention. Let's read. Attorney General William Barr has authorized federal prosecutors across the country to pursue substantial allegations of voting irregularities, according to media reports citing a memo reportedly from Barr's office. The Epoch Times have yet to receive a response from the Department of Justice for comment. Quote, This is coming out of Bill Barr's mouth. I authorize you to pursue substantial allegations of voting and vote tabulation irregularities prior to the certification of elections in your jurisdictions. In certain cases, as I have already done in specific instances, such inquiries and reviews may be conducted if there are clear and apparently credible allegations of irregularities that, if true, could potentially impact the outcomes of a federal election in an individual state. Not just one state, multiple states. So, this is also on the second page of the memo here. Quote, any investigation of claims of irregularities that, if true, would clearly not impact the outcome of a federal election in an individual state should normally be deferred until after the election certification process is completed. And that means that if it's something that's just not going to affect anything, hold it till later, which means anything that you see coming out of Bill Barr's mouth or his investigatory teams is going to be, keyword, substantial. So the memo said that Department of Justice personnel should exercise appropriate caution and maintain the department's absolute commitment to fairness, neutrality, and non-partisanship. We'll see which DOJ agents they send. Quote, you are the most senior leaders in the United States Department of Justice, and I trust you to exercise great care and judgment in addressing allegations of voting and vote tabulation irregularities, Barr wrote. While serious allegations should be handled with great care, specious, speculative, fanciful, or far-fetched claims should not be a basis for initiating a federal inquiry. So if you see a federal inquiry open, that means that it's serious. That means that there's credible allegations. Barr also noted that the memo does not suggest the DOJ has concluded that voting irregularities have in the past impacted the outcome of any election. That's just a statement to stay neutral. Quote, rather, I provide this authority and guidance to emphasize the need to timely and appropriately address allegations of voting irregularities so that all of the American people, regardless of their preferred candidate or party, can have full confidence in the results of our election. The American people and the leaders they freely elect deserve nothing less. We do deserve nothing less, regardless of what happens at the outcome of this, even though we pretty much know what's going to happen. But regardless of what's going to happen, we need to ensure our election system is not fraudulent, is sound, and is not a joke to the citizens of this country or the joke to the world. Our enemies are watching right now. Not just our friends, not just the people that we care about, but our enemies are watching. So the DOJ does not publicly announce investigations or investigative findings due to several reasons. Quote, announcing an investigation of some civil or criminal violations could make it more difficult to obtain witness, cooperation, or gather evidence. Let me say that again. This is very important for people to hear and for people to repeat, for people to understand, especially on our side, on the right. We have a lot of people that are very impatient right now, very frustrated, very downtrodden, thinking that nothing's happening and nothing's going to happen, and also very angry that nothing's happening fast enough. But let me read this to you again. Quote, announcing an investigation of some civil or criminal violations could make it more difficult to obtain witness cooperation or gather evidence. It also could result in the unfair identification of an individual as a person of interest to the federal government. The department's policy is described in the United States Attorney's Manual and Regulations. All right? It's clear cut. If something big's being investigated, if something big's going down, they ain't going to be talking about it. So you're not going to know about it. So maybe we should take that into account when thinking about the Durham report as well. I think some big stuff's happening there, and I think that's going to accelerate pretty soon as well, but we're going to have to wait and see. It's not going to be revealed for us. We don't have that privilege. We don't, unfortunately. So In lieu of this news, guys, things started cracking, if you know what I mean. The concrete started chipping away. The wall started breaking. What do I mean? Some people in the Democrat Party and some high-ranking officials seem to be affected by these investigations starting. It seems that people are starting to possibly panic. At least it looks like panic. It looks very, very suspicious. So when I see this story in the Gateway Pundit here, breaking: top DOJ official overseeing voter fraud quits after AG Barr authorizes federal prosecutors to pursue substantial allegations of voting irregularities before 2020 election is certified. By the way, by Christina Layla. When I see a title like that, after I read an article about Bill Barr here releasing or authorizing the right for prosecutors to actually start investigating this stuff, it makes me start to wonder. I see a coincidence, maybe just one, but let's read this for a second and we'll talk about the other coincidences I'm seeing as well. Earlier tonight, U.S. Attorney General Bill Barr authorized federal prosecutors to pursue substantial allegations, blah, blah, blah. We read that already. In a memo to U.S. attorneys, Barr wrote that investigations may be conducted if there are clear and apparently credible allegations. We talked about that as well. That's an important one to remember. In response to Barr's memo, Richard Pilger, the top DOJ official overseeing voter fraud investigations, quit. He quit his job. Take this job and shove it. He just walked out the door. That's not suspicious, I guess. Richard Pilger is a deep state swamp creature who worked closely with Lois Lerner at the IRS in the Obama days to target the Tea Party organizers. Now, maybe that sounds a little bit like this journalist's opinion, but I would bet to say that if it's written here, and I trust the Gateway Pundit a lot, I would say that even if you remove deep state swamp creature from there and just put the sentence together, Richard Pilger worked closely with Lois Lerner at the IRS in the Obama days to target the Tea Party organization, you can tell that's probably what happened. I don't think he would have quit his job if something wasn't going on. It just seems too fishy. Look, Richard Pilger, when subpoenaed to Capitol Hill by House Oversight Derry Issa in 2014, refused to answer over 36 questions under oath on the advice of Department of Justice attorneys. That's weird. Look, maybe that's the only coincidence. Maybe other people aren't freaking out and doing weird things, but then I see Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel sends a cease and desist order to journalists demanding he erase his Detroit leaks video showing voter fraud training. I don't know what panics you enough to send a cease and desist order, to put a gag order on releasing video about fraud, about voter fraud training, about people talking about purposely committing voter fraud, unless you're committing voter fraud. Oh my gosh, let's read this, guys. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel sent a cease and desist letter to Big League Politics about their exclusive content, #Detroit Leaks, that outlined poll worker training wherein workers were bragging about committing voter fraud in a variety of different ways. You know, one thing I've learned in life as I get into my older years, my middle older years, one thing I've learned is that if it smells like poop and you step on it and it's squishy and it's hard to wash off and it makes you gag, it's probably poop. It's not fake. All right. This person literally is sending a legal notice to somebody to stop them from revealing that they're committing voter fraud. Okay. if this can happen in one place, how many places around this country is this happening? You know, that's why we're doing these investigations. I'm sure they know more than they're telling us, but I mean, we're not dumb. Are you? I'm not dumb. Look, let's keep reading this, okay? The intrepid reporter who broke this story, Shane Trejo, was also one who was a witness for the voter fraud in Detroit. Trejo says he considers this witness intimidation and is fearful that it will be used as a pretext for some criminal actions. In the shocking letter dated October 28th, the Michigan, one of the contested battle states right now, the Michigan Attorney General cites two or three factual errors in the bulk of Trejo's reporting and demands on behalf of the Michigan government to take every single article related to Detroit leaks off the internet. That means that the Attorney General, using legal wizardry, all right, some Narnia-level Voldemort stuff, using this sorcery, this jargon, they're basically requesting that because some of the information seems to be false, not having to do anything with the voter fraud stuff. They're not denying that. They're not saying we didn't do this. What they're saying is that some of the other stuff they talked about, people shouldn't hear. So everything should come off. That's ridiculous, folks. That's absolutely ridiculous. Look, let's read this letter. Let me zoom in a little. This cease and desist notice is to inform you that you are in violation of Michigan law. It has come to our attention that you have used your website to post misleading and false information. Remember, they don't mention the voter fraud. Your website contains videos entitled Detroit Leaks and must be removed. These videos contain false and misleading information pertaining to Michigan elections. These videos and any links to these videos must be removed across all platforms. These videos violate Michigan law by intentionally misleading and altering information pertaining to the elections. What is this information, you ask? Let's talk about it. Specifically, at 2:45 of the YouTube link, that's 2 minutes and 45 seconds, it states that before 2020 challenge ballots never went into the tabular. This is a false statement. At 6:36, 6 minutes and 36 seconds there, you state that challenge ballots will be tabulated and cannot be uncounted later. This is a false statement, as the challenger has 6 days to prove the improper vote. Other portions of the video clips posted on your site are taken out of context or deceptively edited. Further, they do not portray accurate information. Therefore, you are hereby ordered to cease and desist use of the Detroit Leaks video across all media platforms. Remember, this is Detroit, Michigan. This is the Michigan Attorney General through their proxy, their Assistant Attorney General, using their powers, their totalitarian Democratic Attorney General butthead powers, to shut down this company who's exposing them for voter fraud by using legal means to skate around the subject of voter fraud. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable, okay? The Detroit Leaks reporting shows Detroit poll workers who were trained in how to lie, trained on how to handle ballot challenges from Trump supporters. Maybe some of those people were some of the folks we heard about with the Sharpies. They were told to call 911 on any challengers and use COVID as an excuse to deny poll challengers access to view the ballots as they were being counted and tabulated. And if you remember, we've seen multiple stories where the voting people have called 911 on vote watchers. And we've seen multiple stories in Michigan where they put blockers, they put Formica or some sort of plastic paneling over the windows and nobody could see. I mean, this is just the evidence we're glancing at, guys. The series of leaks also revealed that even challenge ballots would be processed as regular ballots, all right? That means ballots that don't have signatures or postmarks, the same type of stuff that happened in Pennsylvania. It's all getting counted. How many tens of thousands of votes is that? Just doesn't make sense, does it, guys? Doesn't make sense to me either. doesn't. Incoming state representative Steve Carra and Michigan activist Bob Cushman filed a successful lawsuit against Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson over the explosive allegations that poll workers were being trained in how to commit voter fraud. They sued. This information was previously banned from YouTube, Twitter, and other social media platforms. And, it's probably going to get me banned too. And that's why I'm asking you again, go to Parler, sign up, check everything out, come find me. The handle's at the James Lane, right there, at the James Lane, right there. You're not going to get censored. You're not going to get shut down. We're going to be able to have these discussions. We're going to be able to organize and unite on the right and make sure that we're taking care of each other. Folks, I just wanted to expose a lot of that to you. It's pretty ridiculous what's happening, and I'm sure you'd agree with me. There's rampant allegations of voter fraud, and one side of this aisle here, the one half of this country is just sitting there dancing in the streets now that COVID's disappeared after the election, pretending to have won. There's no state that's certified their election yet. There's plenty of states still counting. So I think the strategy really is to make it look like the right cheated when the election is basically decided for Donald Trump. That's my view. That's my professional opinion. I've looked at the facts. I've studied the cases. I've really thought about it. I've put the pieces on the chessboard in my brain. And I really think at this point, Trump has a solid path to victory. Okay, Trump has a solid path to victory, even with this rampant, disgusting corruption, which should be revealed and should be prosecuted. And I hope to see some heads roll for this, because it's absolutely ridiculous that in the apparently and supposedly freest and best and most powerful and most legal and most just and most civilized, for a better word, country in this entire world, that our election would become such a mockery. Let's get this over with, all right? Let's expose the fraud, and let's send these people to jail. Folks, I really appreciate you watching. Again, do me that favor and come over to Parler. Come to my website, www.americanreveille.com. Right here, I'm saying, please share, please subscribe. When you're looking at this YouTube video, share it, like it, subscribe it. It's only going to take you 2 seconds. It's not going to take you very long. And you can feel good about yourself for helping everybody on the right get their word out, get that unifying message out, okay? These are historic times, and we may have to conduct ourselves historically. Folks, I hope you have a great night. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see you next time. Bye.